If you're on a self-discovery journey, this podcast is for you. Join us for engaging discussions with inspiring guests who offer practical strategies for embracing change and insights to navigate life's challenges and rewards. Welcome to Season 2 of Your Access Has Been Granted podcast, where we will explore the transformative power of transitions and how it leads to the intersection of where passion meets impact. Regulators! Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Your Access Has Been Granted podcast. I am your host, Brittany Leary, and this is where passion meets impact. All right, on today's episode, I have my honorary first guest. Every time I start a season or a series, this guest is always my first guest. So I'm guessing if you're a regulator, you already know who is sitting beside me. But I am going to introduce my guest for this episode. It is none other than Naikia Simone.
Hey.
Hand clap. Hand clap. Round of applause. Round of applause. If you're a regulator, you've seen Naikia on this podcast. You've heard Naikia on this podcast. But if you're a first timer, I'm going to ask Naikia to introduce herself.
Hey, regulators. My name is Naikia Simone, and I am, an entrepreneur. I'm an esthetician. I am currently a college student. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here with you, Brittany.
That's so cute because my first icebreaker question was going to be, who are you outside of what you do? And you kind of started to introduce yourself outside of what you do.
I be knowing.
So build on that. Who is Naikia outside of what she does?
Naikia is a believer.
Mm-hmm.
She is a hard worker. She believes in doing the hard things first. She loves being a mother and being a wife. I am family oriented and I love to laugh. I like to make other people laugh. I do think I'm a comedian.
She thinks she's funny.
I am funny. I make you laugh all the time.
You ever seen that meme that say, if you think you funny, I'm funnier?
Well, she is pretty funny though.
Nice. They was talking about those people who be trying to be funny.
Yeah, I don't try to be funny. I think it's just my natural je ne sais quoi. But outside of the things that I do, I'm firmly rooted in my faith and in my family. So that's how I would describe myself and my friends that turn into family too. But
cute. So my next question for you would be, what is the biggest misconception of who you are?
Biggest misconception. Misconception. I can't even tell you what the misconception of today would be.
Of today.
And the only reason why I say that is because there's a point in time where I used to maybe know those things more so than I know now. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I used to get was that I was a mean girl, because when people first meet me, I'm very kind of stoic, kind of standoffish. I like to observe. I'm very much an introvert. So I think that when you first meet me, you don't get the smiles, you don't get the laughter, you don't get the comedian. You don't get the comedian. No, not at all. Because I don't know you and I'm finna sit back here and observe and I'm watching everything that's going on. And I probably have a face that looks like a resting bitch face. But I think that would be probably still the misconception. Don't approach me, unapproachable, mean girl, but I'm really not that girl.
What's funny is that is the exact description of how we first met in person.
Yeah, I knew you were going there.
So when I first met Naikia, she and I met on Twitter.
Twitter famous.
If you wasn't there on Twitter in 2011, 2012, you don't know what Twitter really was like. But I met Naikia on Twitter being a comedian. She was being funny. She was tweeting funny things. She was tweeting with all the people that I already knew, but I didn't know her. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of meshed into the group of funny. And I'm like, oh, she funny. I can't wait to meet her. Sure. I met this girl for the first time and the whole group of people, these same people that be on Twitter, the same people that I was introduced to her through, was at Wet Willie's.
Yes, good time.
And we were all kikiing and laughing, and I'm looking over at the table so what's her deal? I'm like, she's so funny on Twitter.
Yeah, I had to fill out the people in person because
I'm talking about you was over there. Hold on, where my phone at? This how you.
don't do me.
This ain't the phone, but this how she was in the chair like this.
Was that at? I do not recall.
You hear this? This how I felt like her ketones was sounding because she was over there in her phone, not paying us any attention. Did I say we was in Wet Willie's where it's music and drinks, and this girl is in her chair? So she ain't lying. I was confused myself when I first met her. But then after we started talking and she got out of that shell, she was the same Naikia that I had met on Twitter.
Ta-da-da. Just had to warm up, you know? Like, this is different. But it's very much different being on social media. Hence, like, when you think about all of the psychological things that like this generation that grew up with social media, how they act in like public settings, they don't really have those social skills. I think that could be part of it because it's like you're free on social media,
right?
But then when you get in person, it's like, ugh, I still have to fill out the vibe and energy, but it's also like, I've never talked to these people in person before. Like,
and I can identify with that because I'm an observer. So I may not give you my full personality, but I'm also not standoffish.
So you're saying I was standoffish?
Kinda. Okay. Kind of. You was kind of off to the side, not in
I'm
the
still
crowd.
kind of like that though.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
So it's like where you would walk in a room and prefer to get a seat where you can see everything and not be bothered until you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I would go and get that probably same seat, but a little closer to the crowd. And I'm like almost smiling and looking at people and give them a head nod just to know or let them know that I'm welcoming.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk, you can. If you want to approach me, you can.
Yeah, no.
And that's probably the slight difference.
Yeah, and that's why I need friends like you because you're the buffer.
I'm the buffer.
You're the buffer.
Everybody thinks I'm the buffer,
but
not just me,
but
not just you.
I'm aware.
Everybody
you
thinks
you fit the bill for all of us. But that's very much how it would be. You could talk to Brittany, and if Brittany says you passed the vibe check, then you might get a smile.
That's funny.
And a hello.
I am the regulator. I'm the head regulator. Y'all, I call y'all regulators, but I'm literally the regulator. So as I explained in the trailer, this season we're going to be talking about transitions in multiple ways with multiple different people so that we can see how transitions look for everybody. I feel like we go through transitions similarly, but the characters may change or the situations are different. But when you sit down and you break it down, everybody has gone through an ending, a neutral zone, and then a new beginning. Yeah. So I felt like it was perfect to make that the framework for season 2 because not just us being in transition, but the world is in a huge transition right now. Mm-hmm. And 2 of my non-negotiables is religion and politics. I don't publicly talk about religion or politics because, and I'm saying in a way of opinion so that you feel like you can offer me yours. That's not what we're doing. So I have a rule. If I didn't talk about it, you can't ask me about it. So for that reason, I don't get on the podcast or I'm not on social media overly indulging in conversations about religion and politics. I don't even remember what the point was I was making about that.
I don't know either.
But anyway, the transitions of the world, that's what it was. And a lot of the transition has a lot to do with religion and politics. That's what took me there. And we go keep that in there so y'all can see how we be getting off track and get back on it. So in the book Transitions, a quote stood out to me, and I wanted to have that as a segue into our next topic. The quote says, "Without releasing the fruit of one season, you can't enter the next." And I thought that quote was so powerful because a lot of what I've learned about transitions through this book is that we don't transition. There is a slight difference between changing or change and transitioning and transforming. And a lot of the biggest differences, one is external and situational, which is change and changes. And the other one is internal, transformations and transitions. And a lot of what you do to transition properly from one stage to the other happens internally. Yeah. So I wanted to have a real life conversation about some of the transitions that we've had recently. And we, of course, have to start with the recent activities of the world, and that's graduation season.
Yeah.
I have 2 godchildren who graduated this year, so I have to give my babies a shout out. By the time this episode is aired, they've graduated and probably get ready to go to school.
Mhm.
But today, Zion graduated. My God, baby, Zion graduated today, class of 2025. Yay! And my niece, Tanasia, graduated yesterday. I call her my godchild too. All these kids, my children. She graduated yesterday too. And to think about the adversity that Tanasia has had to go through,
Yeah.
losing her sister. If you was here in the off season, I mentioned and talked about Tamia, who's my baby. That was her sister, her older sister, and they were only a year apart. So losing her was a big transition. Family transition, school transition. She had so many transitions that were adversity. It was pretty rough for her. So I am so grateful to be able to see her overcome all of that. I'm so proud of her. So I wanted to make sure I said that. And also Zion too, because Zion had a transition where she was like, I don't want to go to school. I do want to go to school. Maybe I want to go to this school. Yeah. So just to see them deciding what they're going to do and moving forward with their passion makes my heart so happy, because we doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our transition and transformation was because we wanted to make sure these kids had somebody to look up to.
Mm-hmm.
And that we were leading them in the right way. So them going in the right way lets me know that we are getting some fruit from our labor. Like,
stuff on the back.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of talk about that, because to them it's the end of something. They're leaving high school. They're not quite young adults. They're still kind of, in that teenage stage, but they're getting ready to transition into a whole new world.
For sure.
And not only are they transitioning, their parents. The transition that a parent has to make to go from being a full-time parent to an empty nester.
Oh, yeah.
Mind you, I don't have no kids, but obviously I have a lot of kids who got mamas. And to see them go through the emotional roller coaster of losing, because it seems like you're losing your baby. Because not only are they physically leaving your home, you're putting them out into the world with less guidance than they're used to.
Yeah.
You don't get to keep your hands on them as much as you used to. And even before it happens, it's a transition. It's a mental and emotional transition of, oh my God, my kid is about to be in this world.
Yeah.
This crazy world at that, on their own. And I have to pray and trust that they're going to be safe, that they're going to come back to me, because all of those things are really real things. And I didn't have them, and I think about that all the time. So I can only imagine what De'Erica and Tammy is going through, getting ready to push their babies out into the world and start a whole new transition. And for that, I am going to give you a hug. I'm going to hug you in real life. I'm always here to support y'all. But that's to all the empty nesters. I am praying for y'all. I always call the mothers superheroes.
Yeah.
Y'all superheroes. But these transitions are hard.
For sure.
They're very difficult. And I have so much empathy and compassion for the transitions that you guys are getting ready to go through, sending these babies off to college.
You sound like an auntie for sure.
I am an auntie.
I know.
I'm a professional auntie too. I'm the baddest auntie in the land.
Period.
All right, the next season that I want us to kind of talk about a little bit is 75 Hard.
Woo, yes.
What a season that is.
Man, such a good season though, right?
It is a good season after the fact. So if me and Naikia and I, for the proper people in the back, we have embarked on this annual journey of 75 Hard. This year
now. I'm sorry.
This year was our second year, so it's annual now. I feel like throughout the year you lose some of your consistency and discipline. Life happens.
Yeah.
The summer happens. The holiday season happens. And 75 Hard for me, being able to do it every year is like a reset.
Absolutely.
That I almost look forward to by the time December comes.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm sick of this.
In December, I am complaining every 5 minutes. I know on social media, I be complaining. I'm like, I got 3 more events before I can sit down. I got 2 more events before I'm done. So 75 Hard has become an annual thing that we do every year. I said that 2 years, but I'm speaking in the future. And this year we decided to build a community around that.
We did.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of us. I'm going to let Naikia talk a little bit about this community that we built around 75 Hard, and then we can get into some of the things that we learned
Absolutely. Well, I think that I was walking out of the gym today, and the first thing that came to me was like, gosh, I love this community. Like, I really love community. I love building community. I've do that both professionally and personally. There's something powerful about getting together like-minded people and deciding to do a challenge or to move forward or go up against, adversity together. And so we talked about it, and naturally in talking about it, um, I'm definitely going to go into what Brittany forced me to do.
You gotta tell the truth. I encourage you to tell the truth.
Absolutely. I'm going to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. So we decided that we would build a community because naturally we talk to our friends, our gym community, our gym friends, our friends and family about what we're about to do, and people have more questions about it. And at this level of our expertise and professional and personal development, that if you are going to ask us questions, we are both coaches in our own right. So let's put together some type of curriculum or guide for people to follow. Brittany and I have been talking about making books, planners, and guides for years. So there's still more of that to come, I'm sure. I'm really certain. And the fact that we were able to put this together, and in the 1-2, that we were able to put this together and get 45 women. And there were some men, they just weren't in the group chat, to embark on this journey with us. It really felt like you had a family of people doing this. And I think that being inside of a gym community, you really understand the collective power there is in like going to war. Workouts be like war sometimes, especially when you be over there doing those burpees, you lifting heavy stuff.
I feel like an anti-hero.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time.
Every single time. So when you're weak, being able to have someone to encourage you, when you don't know, having someone to be able to answer a question for you, when you feel inspired, being able to share that with someone that you might not know needs that in that moment, there's so much power in all those things. And so Brittany decided that we were going to do an ebook. It was Brittany's decision. So Brittany then says she's going to do an outline. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. We decide that we're going to do a Zoom call and everything. Brittany once again is like, okay, I'm going to work on the outline. I'll send it over to you. What? Okay, whatever.
She was
Brittany,
ignoring me, basically.
I was.
Like, what is she talking about?
Why?
But
Why
I'm not going to ask any questions
at all. I don't really, because she's the head regulator. If she says something, eventually it'll get done. It's fine. Whatever you say, Brittany. But then she did send me the outline, and so it was well put together, and how we could guide people who are beginners, new, advanced, just kind of give them the basics of what we decided to term Selfish 75, which encompass 75 hard as well as a 75 soft version, because we wanted to make sure that 75 hard is hard. It's in the name. It's very hard. It requires a lot from you. It requires you to commit to 2 45-minute workouts a day, one in which that has to be outside. You have to follow a meal plan. You need to drink a gallon of water, read 10 pages of a book a day, take a photo physical book, take a photo every day. But we wanted to have an option now this was also Brittany's idea, because I was like, do the hard, be hard.
She was like, no, if they ain't going to do it, they don't need to come.
That's exactly what I said.
And I'm like, come on, bro.
Where's the grace?
Gotta give them grace. Gotta give them some starting points.
Exactly. And I'm glad that we did, because we would have only had maybe 10 people who did hard. But it allowed us to expand our community and really help people get through this first start of this year, feeling better, more knowledgeable, having a sense of community, and really doing something for their betterment, for their physical health, mental health, spiritual health. And it was so beautiful to see. Like, I looked at like all the people joining the group that one day, and I was just like completely taken aback. And it was like, God puts you in position and tells you to do certain things. And even though, you might not necessarily see it for yourself, or see that you need to lead this charge or feel equipped or as knowledgeable, like I'm no fitness, instructor, personal trainer, whatever. I'm still learning so much about me and about life. But the fact that we, were like, all right, we'll start where we're at. And people came along with us and we made it through. Some people didn't make it through, but they either maybe dropped down to the soft or stayed consistent. But they did it.
Yeah.
and
They did it with integrity.
absolutely.
I think that's a big point that I want to make. It's two things that you said that I want to like add a caveat to.
Mhm.
They did it. And they did it with integrity. There were multiple women who messed up. I don't even want to say messed up. They didn't meet their mark every day, right?
Mhm.
It was some that tried their best, and at the last moment, maybe they didn't even share it initially, but a few days later, they shared it with us because they had to toil with themselves, like, dang, I'm mad, I messed up, I'm this, I'm that.
Sure.
But the integrity that people built through this challenge, I adore because everyone was honest. And I feel like that contributes to us creating a safe space.
Yeah.
It wasn't a space where if you don't do hard, you can't come. It wasn't that space anymore. You know what I'm saying? It was it was
Y'all caught that? Okay.
It was a space where everybody felt comfortable enough to not only acknowledge when they did well, but acknowledge when they didn't do well.
Absolutely.
And I feel like we need that, not just as a people, but as women. We need a space where we're not being judged for every single thing we do, whether it's wrong, right, or indifferent. We need a space where we aren't concerned about being judged and we could just be transparent and share our feelings with each other. And I feel like in that group, we experienced a lot of that on a day-to-day basis. A lot of the resources that we acquired throughout the 75 days, a lot of the knowledge and wisdom that we acquired throughout those days came from a different member every day, depending on what the issue was. Everybody was able to come to the group and express their concerns, and somebody had a solution.
Yeah.
And that's a bigger part of that community building. Like, I can't answer all your questions because, like Naikia said, I'm not a fitness guru. I am a person who is in fitness trying to better myself. It's just that simple. It's nothing more than that. And I am in a space where, like I said, I have that energy. I'm welcoming. People see me doing things. That's another thing. You have to be in it in order to build a community.
Absolutely.
You can't be in and out if you're not going to, like, if you want people to be in the community and have that integrity and have that openness, you have to be in it. So I'm just in it, and people can see that I'm in it, and that makes them want to be in it with me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Very inspiring. Like it motivates people, and even other girls inside of the group have shared that like people are reaching out to them because they were sharing the journey, and people who weren't a part of the group or a part of the challenge reached out to me and were, cheering me on.
Yes.
If I didn't make it into the group, I'm at least gonna make my post.
Yes.
So you can see day 1 through 75, the consistency and inspiring other people. I can't tell you how many people were like, oh, I'm trying the Stairmaster because Naikia said that
she got me trying to Stairmaster because that was not on my radar. That was not on my bingo card for 2025.
But you got it in there,
girl.
But that's the thing, and that it keeps you going too.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're doing it just off of consistency. And listen, let me tell you, Brittany fussed at me.
Oh, baby.
She didn't fuss at me. She fussed to me.
Don't tell him I fussed. Tell him I cussed.
She did cuss
a lot,
but she fussed. It was for 45 minutes during my outdoor walk. I think and that's the beautiful part. I think you went on a walk at the same time.
Yeah, and it was like what, week 4 or 5?
Yeah, fussing.
It's an 11-week process.
Fussing and cussing about being tired, being in pain, the fact that she don't have time to do this, that, or the other because she got another workout she got to do. She got 100 ounces of water to drink, but she couldn't stop. Because that's the other part of community. There's that accountability part, right? That there's 40, she said, 40 months.
It's 40 months.
Listen, I'm telling you, I love to hear Brittany fuss because the more she fusses and cusses, the more country she gets. She gets very emotional and she's hilarious. And she's like, I don't think you're doing over there sitting and laughing at me. I was like, you would be laughing too if I was saying what you were saying.
At the time, I'm mad.
Big mad.
I'm big mad.
And I'm just cackling. Don't take her serious whatsoever. But we got through that hump. It was the messy middle because you talk about it being an 11-week process. Around week 5, week 6, there's the momentum that goes into starting and getting through those first 20 days, and then it really starts to set in. And then we have to talk about the latter half of the challenge when you're like day 60 and you're like, I can't do another thing. My body is sore. Like I can feel every muscle fiber in my body. I've gone through an allergy season. I've gone through a cold. I've injury. I'm tired, you know, and you have to persevere and remember why you started. But also, I don't want to let myself down. But I don't want to let my community down.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there are people who are counting on me to finish what I said I was going to do. And more so over that I'm counting on me to finish what I said I was going to do.
Mm-hmm. So one of the biggest takeaways for me, and you'll see an episode before this where I outline the themes for myself that I've created for this upcoming year. 2025 really didn't start for me until like April. So let's be real. It really didn't start until about April after 75 Hard.
Yeah.
So for me, coming out of 75 Hard came with clarity. And there were a few things that I was clear about when I finished 75 Hard, and one of them was obedience. Naikia and I have had in-depth conversations in the past about the weight that comes with a community or leading people in general. And one time I was in meditation and prayer, and I could hear God clearly say to me, you're worrying about the wrong thing.
Mm.
You are not supposed to feel that weight because that weight isn't yours. The only thing that I have asked you to do is to be obedient. Hence the creation of the ebook.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about creating that ebook, but in my mental clarity, I said, I need to be obedient. I can hear it saying, if you want this to be smooth, you got to give them a foundation.
Yeah.
So I created an outline and I sent it to Naikia, and Naikia designed the ebook, and it was just like, she went over it, she added some, took away some, like it was just at flow. And even prior to that, we literally got on a live impromptu after my facial.
Yeah.
It was like, should we get on live? Should we ask people if they want to do it with us? Because people was already asking. And we impromptu sat in the corner of your studio and got on live. And at least 20 people at that moment said yes, which was odd.
Yeah. We were thinking 10 people.
We definitely thought 10. We thought if we could at least get 10.
Yeah, that was the goal. I love that we're so modest and like, oh, we'll just be small numbers. But it ended up being so many more people, even to the point where my husband joined and he got his friends to join and stuff like that. But it was very much led. It was very much an alignment, you know?
Very much on the line. And I think that's the dopest part of the process of being obedient, is that you get to see trusting the process unfold when you're being obedient, because you're just doing a thing.
Yes.
And then before you know it, another thing has come up. And then a few weeks later, something else has evolved. And at the end of the process, the clarity that I had was all you had to do is be obedient.
Absolutely.
It was the heavy weight that I imagined. It wasn't that at all.
No.
Because the group carried itself. Because everyone who was there was in alignment with the purpose. Everybody who was there was in alignment with the mission. Even if you didn't complete the 75 Hard, your intentions were pure in that space. Your integrity was clear, and you didn't add weight to the group. Everybody added something.
For sure.
Nobody was sitting around. There's a few people who didn't even communicate in the group.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people probably didn't even finish the 75 Hard. We're still not judging.
Yeah.
We didn't kick y'all out of the group because y'all wasn't talking or nothing.
Right.
Because in my mind, sometimes people are shy. So I took initiative at one point to just go and individually message each woman or each person who did not communicate in the group on a regular basis, because I wanted them to know, although you're not communicating, I still see you. And at the end of the day, I felt like that was something valuable for those women, because at that point, they're like, I am shy. I really don't want to talk in the group. So I'm glad you reached out to me. And just those little things, being obedient in very small ways, helps build a community in ways that we probably didn't even imagine. It's stuff that I just could not foresee. And just being obedient. God said, be obedient, do what I tell you to do, and I'll supply all the resources you need along the way. I'll give you everything that you need in order to fulfill the purpose if you're just obedient. That don't mean it comes easy. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have adversity. That doesn't mean that you're not going to see challenges. It just means that through those things, you're still going to get to where you're supposed to be because you're in alignment and you're being obedient to what was told to you.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing.
One of the biggest things that I feel like I got from 75 Hard, like you really focus a lot on the physical part because you're working out twice a week.
And that's the surface level that everybody can see. Everybody
can physically see that. And I think I said this in the group at one point in time, and it really started on the Stairmaster because, baby, I was talking to...
Spirits come out you on the Stairmaster.
Woo! I was talking to Jesus, Mary, Joseph, the disciples, all of them, because it was like a physical thing, but on the inside, my brain was telling me that I couldn't do something, or that I could cop out, or I could pull back, or whatever the case may be, which is, what this challenge kind of presented. It was like, yes, there's the physical, and yes, there's a physical transformation. There might be some weight loss, some muscle growth, but the spiritual connection that I felt, the clarity that came along with that, the clarity that I gained that allowed room for that spiritual connection and emotional release, and just mental clarity was paramount for me, more so than the physical transformation. It was the spiritual and the emotional clarity, and mental clarity that really, will be the reason why I continue to do 75 Hard, because those are the things that sometimes get pushed to the wayside. You don't necessarily, I don't know, I've never set out to seek spiritual clarity in my line of work or in a day-to-day basis, but it's very much needed as you transition and elevate.
Yeah, the spiritual part is, I don't know if it's underrated because I don't really pay attention to a lot of 75 Hard content. But from personal experience, I can tell you that when I initially started it, I didn't.
That wasn't what it was for.
I didn't think about it. That I wanted to be consistent in the gym.
Yeah.
I wanted to create a routine of discipline. I wanted to see myself, and as a small piece of the version of myself I envision, right? The Brittany that I envision goes to the gym every day.
Yeah.
Or she's active in some way every day. Not only because I do want to look good.
Yeah.
Not only because of the physical, but because I know that routine and those habits will give me the mental clarity I require to achieve the goals that I have.
For sure.
Set out for. It'll also give me the consistency in general, give me the ability to find that financial stability that I want. And the spiritual just wasn't in the forefront for me.
Yeah.
And I think that fighting and doing the hard and knocking down that wall every day.
The wall rebuild every day.
Because first of all, the walls that you breaking down, they like probably 10, 15 years old, if not 30 years old sometimes. And you are dismantling walls every... Ooh, I just thought about it.
Yeah.
Like the dismantling process, which is a part of transitions, that taking it piece by piece and taking it day by day and like releasing and letting go of those things that are part of who you are no longer trying to be. Because even if you don't say it out loud, there's a lot of things that we mentally think to ourselves and say, this does me no good.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how much habits and routine can help you get out of those things and let go of what you don't need until you actually do it.
Yeah.
So around week 5, when I'm cussing and fussing, I am pissed because I am fighting to dismantle the girl I used to know. Oh,
fuck that.
Baby.
Yeah.
The girl I used to know, I still love her down.
Yeah, love her.
I love her down. But there is something that happens to you when you find yourself on the other side of that wall.
Yeah.
That makes you not want to go backwards. And it makes you not want to build that wall up again. Because after you sit there, you dismantle that wall piece by piece, you really, before, like let me start that over. Because in the beginning, when you're building the wall, you don't realize you're building the wall.
Yeah.
You're surviving. You're going through these things and you're doing whatever you need to do at the time.
It's your protection.
To move forward.
Yeah.
So you don't even realize you're building this wall. So then when you get into a process like 75 Hard and you're starting to go through the dismantling process of building the consistency and the discipline, and you're identifying these things that don't work for you anymore, you start to take that wall down brick by brick. You remember each brick you taking down.
Yeah.
You might not have realized when you was putting it up, but you remember every brick when you taking it down.
That's really one of those moments that I've had several times throughout 75 Hard. I'm so grateful for the process, because as I was going through that and realizing that I was coming up against resistance or coming up against a wall or a brick, I could then start to identify where I created this brick from. And then I could send love to the girl I used to know who placed this brick here for protection or for insulation or because she felt that she needed to. But then I could, realize that I'm not there anymore. I'm not her anymore. And I can move forward. Like, I don't need this anymore. And as you're going through something like 75 Hard, and I didn't realize it would land like this because I didn't have this in my plan. But as I mentioned earlier that I'm a student, and I decided to go back to college to earn my RN, my BSN, and Bachelor in Science and Nursing. And 75 Hard helped me through that transition because there's a lot of the college dropout Naikia, who I was for like the last decade,
right?
Who was still around, whose mindset and thought processes were there, and going through 75 Hard as I'm going back to school and dismantling the walls and the things that, the mindset that I had created. I needed 75 Hard to give me the clarity, and to help to continue to push me forward. And I don't know if I would have ended my semester the way I ended my semester with a 4.0.
Period. Just
and that was one of those things that the Holy Spirit whispered to me. It wasn't me, because I never thought 4.0 was in my wheelhouse. There are a lot of things we have conversations like, this wasn't on the radar. This was not on the radar. I tell Brittany is also like my journal. So I call Brittany and tell her all the things in my life, and she remembers them, but I like to put it on record.
Yeah.
So it wasn't something that I ever saw in my wheelhouse. And it took me back to middle school Naikia. It took me back to high school and college Naikia. And I had to realize that, yes, I am capable of doing hard things. And as small as that, or as as that may seem, there was a version of me that did not think that that was something I was capable of doing, especially when I'm focusing on sciences and things that I've never been, crazy about.
Right.
I had to remind myself and go back in time to remember that, I enjoy math. I'm actually really good at math. I had forgot that version of me.
Right.
And so 75 Hard brought to the forefront this person that can do hard things, who accepts the challenges, who moves through it. Like, you might not win all of the races, but you still show up. You put the one foot in front of the other, and that consistency allowed me to end my semester with a 4.0. And that was, I did the analysis. In order for me to get for my GPA was from being a college dropout to being able to get into nursing school, I have to perform very well. I have to perform in a certain level of excellence. And I mean, that's naturally, if I want to be a healthcare provider and help, people when in their time of need, and step in and save a life, or hopefully bring some life into this world, I'm going to have to be excellent. And so I need to set down the version of Naikia that plays small, that, doesn't feel that she is capable, or feels that shies away from the hard thing. And the Holy Spirit said, it's 4.0. You're going to get a 4.0. He's been whispering and talking to me a lot lately. And
you've been hearing him a lot lately.
Listen, I'm like, you talking to me? And at first I got really overwhelmed by that. That's a lot of pressure. 4.0. Yeah. I've got to take anatomy and physiology and statistics. What are you talking about? Me?
Right.
And through this process, brick by brick, it was revealed to me. And it's like, it's almost like a mask that is put up. And it's like, I got back to who God created me to be, my purpose, and being able to feel confident in my capabilities. And I needed to get that 4.0, and prove to myself that I could do it. And the process through 75 Hard, that helped to sustain me to get to that finish line too.
And the process that you explaining, based on the framework that we're using for this season, is called disidentification, right?
Go ahead.
So we talked about dismantling and that the wall we built and how we have to deconstruct, dismantle that wall brick by brick, and how, like you said, you identify that brick every time you take one down, although you may not have remembered how it got there. When you take it down, you know exactly what it is and how you need to handle it on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
Because now you on the other side of the wall and you looking at this wall and you're like, okay, I got over because I got rid of some of the stuff at the top, the surface level stuff.
Yeah.
You see, I'm going somewhere. The surface level stuff, you done dismantled. So now you can climb over. And now you on the other side and you looking in the depths of the wall, at the foundation. And you're like, hold on. I got a lot more bricks to dismantle around here. So now you're looking at the remainder of this wall and you're taking it brick by brick. And as you said, once you start doing that, you're like college dropout Naikia. She used to think like this.
Mm-hmm.
She used to think like that. Now the disidentification part comes in because Naikia today has done an extreme amount of work to be different.
Yeah.
And in that messy middle, you might not realize that it's actually working.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you reach that disidentification stage, you be like, oh wait, it really ain't me no more. I am not her. You get excited. You be like, I'm not her no more.
Yeah.
So keeping on this girl I used to know thought process, let's get into our next conversation. Hey regulator, I hope you enjoyed part 1 of this episode. Yes, this is only part 1, so that means part 2 will be coming out soon. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and comment so that we can continue to build this regulator community. And for those regulators that only listen to the podcast over there, Apple Podcasts, or maybe even Spotify, don't forget we have a video podcast also on YouTube. If you love listening to me, I'm sure you'll love looking at me. I can't wait to see you next episode. Bye.